Make sure we're good. Okay. All right. All right. We're on.
All right.
Hey, what's up, beautiful
What's going?
people?
What's cracking? What is
Yeah.
crack-a-lacking?
Coach Cam coming from Warner Robins Air Force Base, Georgia. Never thought I'd be here, but here I am.
That's lovely, brother. Lovely. How's the weather out there?
I'm a big weather guy, and it's nice out here right now. I
What?
went, yeah,
In Georgia?
I went for a run yesterday, and
Okay.
it was like perfect. Like it wasn't too humid, wasn't
Yeah.
like too cold. Like it was pretty cool. But no, it's pretty nice here right now. But I don't know. It's supposed to rain today, but I'm not seeing it yet. So I'm
You
cool
and
with
this
that.
rain, bro. It's like wherever you go, you bring the rain with you. You've been everywhere but Vegas. I'm not
Yeah,
appreciating that.
I know.
Bring it this way.
I'm gonna have to visit you guys just so I can like rain make it on it.
Yeah, right. I know. Make it rain on
But coming to
Vegas.
you from the hotel room, so we got a good episode for you guys today. Per the usual, just to start out, first things first. Everything that Aaron and I talk about is our opinion. Okay, so
Yes.
yes, it comes from our expert opinion because we know what we are talking about. We've done the research, things of that nature. However, um, make sure you are looking into the knowledge with either a professional, and you're not making any rash decisions based off this 30-minute conversation that we have here today. Okay. If you want to talk finances or real estate on a actual, client level, give us a call. Then we can give you more of our opinion. That being
Yes.
said, every Wednesday, 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, we hop on here to talk to you guys about what's going on in the real estate market, what's going on in the financial market, retirement, all those types of things. Myself, I'm a licensed financial strategist. Aaron is a licensed real estate agent. And so we're not just talking out of our sideways here.
Nope. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Most definitely. We definitely been through the struggle, ins,
Mhm.
outs, all kind of situations. So gotta understand what we're doing. You know what I
Yep.
mean? We got our feet wet.
We got a few wet. So for this week though, Aaron chose the topic. Great topic. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been seeing the headlines, the Instagram stories, whatever
Yep.
have you, all about the changes that were recently made when it comes to how mortgages are going to work in the future, as far as for lenders and things like that. I'm
Yes.
gonna let Aaron touch base on that because once again, he's the expert when it comes to that realm. And
Well, let's reword that. I am not the expert when it comes down to the mortgage, to the mortgage realm. I am not. Once again, I know enough just to be dangerous and to base my own opinions. I am not a licensed lender. Okay, I
he
did
knows
not go to
enough.
school. But yes, I know enough. But yes,
So tell us where
yeah.
you're at with that.
Man, so what Coach Cam is really talking about here is that loan level price adjustment, the LLPA.
Yeah.
And from now, granted, we're also not biased about politics. Let's get that out there. Let's put
Yep.
that out there right now, Cam. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Because there's a lot of hoopla from different lefts and rights
Yep.
about what this will do. Some blaming it on the current political party
Mhm.
versus the old one, all that stuff. Me and
Yeah.
Cam, we stay out of it. We're military. I feel like we've done our part. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
putting that out there. But with that being said, this LLPA here, people. So, come this May, which is in a couple of days here, that they are potentially going to restructure the this loan level price adjustment here.
Yeah.
I'm being really wordy here, so bear with me because I don't want to say the right or the wrong things here. So forgive me on this one. So what this pretty much is, it's your average. It's the formula that lenders pretty much use in order to see who can be granted for a mortgage and who can't. Right. So, in a nutshell, what it is for people who are looking to purchase homes who actually have greater credit scores than others. From I do believe, Cam, that they're talking in the 700s, if you will.
Yeah.
So if you have a 700 credit score and your mortgage, and you currently have a mortgage, you might be looking at some higher mortgage payments, fees, things of that nature. Now, on the upside on that, for those who might need a little bit more help for their credit, this is
I like
perfect.
how you worded that.
You like that? Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was
Who needs
grade
a
A
little help?
strategic.
I'm talking as slow and like conscious as possible. You know what I mean? So, but this might be the program for you, and something that will actually help to weigh those people who need a little bit more adjusting, or a little bit more umph in their trunk, to buy a house. What are your thoughts about this?
I thought it was crazy, man. Because you're literally talking about, in retrospect, penalizing people for taking care of the things they're supposed to be taking care of, right?
You said it, not me. But go
Yeah,
ahead. I
I mean,
love
yeah,
it.
I'm allowed to.
But I'm on you. I love it
I'm gonna
because you're
say
more
it.
because you're in the financial realm a little bit better than I am. So yes, go ahead. Let's
I
talk,
mean,
baby.
yeah, I mean, we're telling people, hey, pay your bills, have good credit, have good, debt to income ratio, all these things,
Yes,
um, because it's gonna help you buy a house and get a business and do all these things in the future, and then we come out and say, oh, hey. We appreciate you for being responsible, but now it's your responsibility as a
ability
responsible person to help the person under you who was not
that you have no
responsible,
idea.
that you have no idea who
Exactly.
it is,
Exactly.
in retrospect. So, you know, once again, not political at all, but
Yeah.
one of the other conversations that like this kind of reminds me of is the whole like pay off the college debt forgiveness stuff, right? Because
Wow. Yeah.
um that stuff's not free.
Yeah.
Do now that being said, do I think college is extremely overpriced? 100%. I think it's ridiculous that the amount of money that people are going into debt to pay for a degree that no longer holds a weight that can pay itself off.
Exactly.
Um, that being said, it's not my responsibility that people took that, the bad deal, as far as I call it. Like
Exactly.
I didn't take that bad deal,
I
like,
went to the army. Yeah.
I went to there, I went to the
Yeah.
military,
Yeah. I played the smart
and
route.
so, but, kind of coming back to this is that is not free. You don't just forget trillions or billions of dollars worth of student debt. Guess
Correct.
where that comes from? Taxes.
Yep.
That comes from higher interest rates. Everything is affected by these financial decisions that are made on a really broad scale,
Yep.
and, do I think that, home ownership should be something that a lot of people are able to get into? I
Of
do. I think
course.
it'd be nice to get a house, and I know the value of it. However, um, think about the people who honestly weren't as responsible initially. They
Yep.
then got responsible,
Hmm.
took the necessary steps to eventually get to a place where they can get the good interest rates and things of that nature. What are we saying to those people too, who did the hard work?
Yeah, exactly. And that's a big point. You know what I mean? And it's, man, that this is, as far as I know, a lifetime for me. It's
Yeah.
always been a great thing to be responsible, take care
Yeah.
of your stuff, respond. You know what I mean? And you'll get rewarded for it.
Exactly.
And it's kind of, it is what it is. It's unfair. It really is unfair.
It's
it's just
unfair.
it's just unfair. Life is like, it's
Yeah.
unfair for those who literally just took care of their responsibilities. And but once again, there are articles out there as well that are saying that what it is supposed to help bridge that gap.
Yeah.
Actual in the racial, and when it comes to borrowers and things of that nature, they
Hmm.
start to get into the race thing,
Yeah.
about minorities and all that stuff. Well, got it, but there's always, I think that's just a little baitish, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Full on bait mode.
You know what I mean? Just a little baitish, trying to take it there. But in all retrospect, I personally feel it's just unfair. You know, I
Yeah.
don't want anybody. And me coming from a person who started out with like piss poor credit to way better credit, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
even when
Like
I
you did the
had piss
work.
poor, exactly, I did the work. You know, I sat there and ate freaking top ramen and whatever so I could pay off a little bit. Like I did the work, you know what I mean? But even then, when I was still building, I don't think just a pride thing for me, because now it's based on pride too. I
Yeah.
wouldn't take this handout, if you will, or I
Yeah.
wouldn't like to accept this because I just have more pride and just it's a pride thing, bro. Like I think, you know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, and that's really kind of what it comes down to too, right? Is like, once again, the people that did the work, the people that are responsible. I
Yeah,
actually have been watching kind of like arguments about the kind of the disparity between minorities and all those types of things, right? And
yeah,
it's a hard topic. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like I feel as though as a society we've like super overused it. Like
yeah. Mhm.
everything has been a conversation about that, right? And so and like I was watching an argument on TikTok kind of about it, and I think it was at Harvard actually.
Oh
Um,
wow.
it was like a Harvard debate, and that was kind of one. And so the debate was, um, God, what's it when they affirmative action? It
Oh,
was a
okay.
debate on
Yeah.
affirmative action, right? And
Yep.
so it was hard, like, because like realistically, all the arguments somewhat made sense, if you
Yeah.
depending on which road you wanted to go down. But it's
Exactly.
at the same time, it's like we're always looking for this perfect answer, and there isn't
Hmm.
one.
There's
there
not.
there
It's not.
there's
There's not.
what is it, like this?
It starts with self, bro.
Yeah, like the CEO of Chase was talking about like the pay. I remember I saw another something else where he's talking about the pay or whatever, and like
Hmm.
they were saying, oh well, it affects 20,000 of your employees or something like
Hmm.
that. And he was like, I understand that, but I have to think about the other 300,000 employees that I have.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what it is, man. And I was watching an interview some years ago with Jay Z, and they asked him, yeah, how come you never went back to Marcy Projects to buy the property, to fix it up, and all that good stuff? And he said,
That's
well, I
another
can
thing.
do
Yeah.
that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like, yeah, I can do that, but what is it going to change? Because
Yep.
until the people inside of of that residence of that area
Yep.
change their mindset, it's just going to keep going back to the same outcome.
Yep.
And regardless of how many people we help or the programs, whether if you have if this change in the LLPA helps you, if your mindset is not structured right,
Yep.
it's you're going to stop paying your mortgage. You're going to take out all kind of equity and start buying crazy stuff the wrong way, and you're just going to put yourself in more and more debt. You know what I mean? You have
Exactly.
the more money opportunities you make, you have to move different. You really have to move different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's the government, I feel, or whoever programs, they can do whatever they can or they say they want to do, but until things are based more around the mental of how people think, the mindset, um, things are going to keep going full circle.
Yeah. And that's like we kind of talked about, touch base on that last time, right? Is like the whole wants versus needs, realistic versus non-realistic. It's like
Correct.
those are things that have to be considered when you're talking about real estate, interest rates, mortgages, finances, all those things. Is like, you know, nothing's ever necessarily going to be perfect, but what's going to be the best fit. Um,
Exactly what works
and
for you.
and realistically, and I've also, let me know if you've heard this too, is I've also heard that the reason they're doing that is to help people with lower credit buy houses,
Yep.
in an effort to stop investment companies from buying so many houses. Ready?
Regard
Tell me the logic.
so this is my logic, and now regardless of what it is, whether if it's going to stop a regular buyer or an investment buyer, hedge funds or whatever, it all
Yeah.
boils down to money. It all boils
Facts.
down to the seller. It all boils down to what the terms are. It all boils down to the mortgage rate and what they can afford and purchase.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. If a seller is putting their home up for sale and I get an offer for exactly asking price, right? And then I get an offer from a hedge fund that's offering me 10 or 10, 15, 20K over. Got it. I'm gonna go with the hedge fund. You know what I mean? Got it. But if this sweet this sweet brand new single family who just PCS'd in the Air Force, walks through my house, oh my gosh, this is the perfect home, and the seller happens to be there or sees it, they're genuinely going to say, okay, I would rather for it to go to a loving family,
Yeah.
who's going to do something with it. And regardless of what the media is saying, bro, like that's what it boils down to. Who can write the best offer,
Mhm.
the terms, and how bad things need to happen. Yeah, that's yeah, it's weird, bro. I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, that happened to me when when I sold my house in Sacramento. Like, that was the exact scenario, right? Like, so I think we put our house on the market for 495, something like
Okay.
that. And within 48 hours, we had 3 offers, one of which was from an investment company, and it was for
Hmm.
560.
There you go.
And not only was it for 560, it was 560 with a $50,000 gap.
Oh, wow.
So, and so for those of you that don't know what a gap is, what that means is that they offered me $50,000 gap between what the house appraises for to what
Hmm.
they offered me. So as long
Hmm.
as the house appraises for within 50,000 of whatever that offer was, I get the full amount.
Yep.
Um, and we had a family who,
Hmm.
it was a mom, a daughter, and a granddaughter.
Oh,
We lived 2 blocks from the school, from the
yeah.
elementary school, 3 blocks from a brand new high school, and so it made sense.
They know what they're doing when they bring the grandparents. I'm telling you that now, but go ahead.
And so, so I didn't even talk to them really. It's all realtor
Oh,
stuff,
okay.
but
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't talk
Gotcha.
to them. But they gave an offer, I think, of like 520,
Okay.
and I was like, you got to get closer than that, and you got to
Hmm.
give me a gap. Like, you got to meet the investment company's somewhat offer. I said, you know what?
Yeah.
I can charge 10,000 to the game out of the
Okay.
goodness of my heart. I
Goodness of
said, if
your
you can
heart.
get,
Yeah.
I said, if you can get to 550, the house is yours. I'll leave 10 grand on the table because I would rather it go to a family.
Yeah.
And
See, that's awesome. You'll
in
give them back those contributions.
but
Okay,
they
that's
couldn't.
good. Gotcha. Yeah.
They got to 540 and they wouldn't
Hmm.
give me a gap.
Gotcha.
And I was just
They
like,
they didn't have those reserves.
they didn't have the reserves. And so I was just like, unfortunately, like, I have a family to feed. And so I have a decision to, that the difference between 10 and 20,000 is paying off my car. I paid off my
Exactly.
car. And
Yeah.
so, imagine if I had $20,000 less, like,
And we're talking cash. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, I'm talking, yeah, exactly.
We're talking cash. So by them to say, it's going to help slow down the hedge funds for purchasing, it's kind of bullcrap to me because you're still talking like I'm giving you cash. I don't have to
Yep.
wait 27, 26 days, you know what I mean, for my
Yeah.
loan package to get packaged and sold and all that good stuff. Um, and 9 times out of 10, these cash buyers, they're not talking appraisal, they're waiving their appraisal contingency. So
Hmm.
regardless of what your home is worth, they're paying what they say they're going to pay you. You get what I'm saying?
For sure.
And that doesn't weigh, that weighs a lot heavier than, those terms on a
Hmm.
FHA or a convention, those type of things, when you
Yeah.
have to do the appraisal.
Yeah. Well, something to remember, and I think we say this a lot in the military is, the government doesn't do things for the betterment of the people.
No, it doesn't.
The
No,
government does things for the betterment of the government. And
exactly.
so, and so
Everybody, everybody gets that
let's
concept,
just
but
be
yeah,
real, right? And
it is what
so,
it is.
and one of those things, and so kind of segueing into like other things that are kind of that have gone into effect recently that are really going to affect people is like, the Secure Act 2.0. So like when we talked on the phone, you
Yeah,
said
I wanted to hear more about this. Yeah, this is news to me, man.
yeah. So the Secure Act, and it's funny because it's called like the Secure Act, so you would think it had something to do with like safety,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or like the or something of that nature. But
Mhm.
it actually not. It has to do with retirements.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Change the
yeah,
game.
so it has to do with retirements and things like that. And so they just came out. They just came out with the new kind of laws and precedents for it, right? And one of the biggest things about it is that how it affects like your children when you pass down money.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and the reason why is because so and once again, the government doesn't do things good for us; they do what's good for the
Mhm.
government.
Yeah.
And so one of the big changes they made was how like so you pass away. Say you have
Okay.
401k,
Knock on
three
wood.
you got
Yeah.
$3 million, $3 million sitting in a 401k.
Hmm.
Your child is named as your beneficiary. Well,
Yes.
you pass away, obviously that money goes to the beneficiary. But what a lot of people don't know is that that money does not go to your beneficiary untaxed.
Hmm.
Like that money's still taxed. It doesn't matter that they're the only beneficiary in the entire tax code that is not taxed is life insurance beneficiaries.
Hmm.
Those are the
Didn't
only
know that.
those are the only beneficiaries that are ever listed that is
Take
actually not
notes.
taxed. Every single other beneficiary is taxed accordingly. Okay.
Taxable. Okay.
Now, what's Secure Act 2.0 did was, let's say um the $3 million, right? Your daughter takes
Hmm.
it out. Now, what they do is they say, hey, we're really glad you got this $3 million. You have to spend it in the next 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
You can't like roll it over into your 401
Can
your own
you?
401k and this.
So you can't invest it.
So you can invest it, but you have to
Okay.
take it out of the account. But guess what you do when
Okay.
you take it out of the account? You pay
What?
taxes on it. So
So gotcha.
$3 million over 10 years, what is that? $300,000 per year.
Those. Yeah.
So
Roughly.
you've now thrown, your daughter who, let's say makes $100,000 a year. So she's still in a
Hmm.
nominal tax bracket. You've
Yeah.
now thrown her into a $400,000 tax bracket
Tax
for the next
bracket.
10 years. And
And she's
she's going
caught
to
up
see,
in.
and because of that tax bracket, she's going to see how much of that 300,000 per year, like half, maybe.
Hmm. That's like that. Now, can this change?
What do you mean?
Like as far as how it's being taxed? Because right now, what is it being taxed at?
It depends on your tax bracket.
Okay.
And the money that you receive from those accounts is considered what? Income.
Mm-hmm.
So income tax.
Gotcha.
But
Dude, this is crazy knowledge, bro.
yeah, and so that's the thing is when you're talking about income tax and things of that nature. That's another thing is like some people don't understand, or actually I would say most people, and I'll consider myself most people up
And no,
until
and throw me in there too, because I
until
pay
the
a
last
person.
couple of years
I pay a guy to do my taxes. You know what I
is
mean? A lady. So.
well, so like taxes, right? So we always
Hmm.
hear, excuse me, the different tax brackets, 25%, 34%, this and the third. Well, the way that it works is that you are taxed on that percentage up until the higher threshold of that tax bracket. So let's
Gotcha.
say the first tax bracket is 12%. It's $0 to $40,000, right? That
Okay.
means on your first $40,000, you are taxed 12%.
12%. Correct.
Now, from 40,000 to say 150,000, you are taxed at 25%.
Okay.
Now let's tax, from 150 to up, 34%. So it's not
Hmm.
like everything is just taxed.
Okay.
It's it's
Gotcha.
it's according to the brackets as your money passes that bracket.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Okay.
that's why, like, if you make $100,000, you're not paying 25 grand in
25.
taxes off the bat.
Gotcha.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Yeah. Most
and
definitely.
so but yeah, and as as a realist, as an agent, is that like
Yep.
they take all those things into account as well.
Most
They they
definitely.
they check past not credit, but past tax returns,
Taxes rack. Yep.
and that's
Especially
what
if you're a sole. Yeah. Especially if you're like a sole proprietor, you need those. Those
yep,
2 years of tax returns and all that
yep.
good stuff.
You need all
Yeah.
those things. And
Yeah.
I actually saw I saw a post about a woman who she retired out of. I think she was in the first system, so she was in a government employee of some sort,
Uh-huh.
and she took a loan out of her TSP or
Okay.
whatever I believe it was TSP because that was the group I was in,
Okay.
and um that counted or whatever what she took out counted as a income. So she paid
Oh,
taxes on
okay.
it. Whatever it was,
Yeah,
she took
of
it out.
course.
So it probably wasn't a loan. She probably like surrendered a little bit of the amount. Anyways, took money out, counted on her tax return. Well,
Hmm.
with when she retired and she signed up for Medicaid or Medicare, whatever it was, um, they take into account your last 2 years of taxes.
Oh
So her
no,
Medicare premium was higher because of
because she because
that
she took
money
it
she took
out
out 2
and
years
account.
prior. So now the rest of her payments are going to be like that for the time being, all
Yeah,
because of that taxable disbursement that was done.
that
And
was
so
done. Yeah.
that's like that's
Oh,
one of the
that's
things
ugly.
that I like to talk to people about is like stop thinking about just money like pots of money. Like
Hmm. You
honestly,
have to move it.
honestly, you can make a lower amount of money, but know the tax game through and through, and make
Hmm.
more money and keep more money than the person who just makes a whole bunch and doesn't know how to move correctly.
Boy, so, yeah, okay. I don't know if we should even get into that. Because
I mean, we got
because
2 minutes left.
we got 2 minutes left. Yeah, man. Because I was gonna go like, hey, so what do you think about that whole Donald Trump thing? And the taxes because you know,
So honestly, the way that I feel is at the end of the day,
yeah.
there are people who are professionals for a reason, and
Hmm.
you can't be mad at somebody who took advantage of the system that was there.
That was already put in
Now,
place.
exactly like so if you want to be mad at anybody, be mad at the government for allowing him to I mean realistically allowing him to do that.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
if someone tells me just like with the house, "Oh, you should
Yeah.
give the house to that person just out of the goodness of your heart." And I'm like, "Bruh, I
I
got
got a family
kids,
fee.
I got a wife, I got a family, I got a
Yeah.
future
Yeah.
to think about." Like unfortunately, I have to make decisions based off that. And so it's the
Exactly.
same thing with taxes. Like
Hmm.
just because he makes an extraordinary amount of money, you expect him to pay more taxes than everybody out of just because he should. But
Yeah.
do any of us do anything
Because
just to
we
do it?
should.
We do it because they tell us not to.
I.
I don't not
I.
I don't not
Mhm.
walk across the street because I don't want to. I do it because there's a crosswalk and I don't want to get a
Exactly.
ticket.
Or
Like
get hit.
otherwise,
You know what I
you
mean?
said I didn't get a ticket, I would just walk across
Yeah.
the street and not care.
Exactly. It's yeah, most definitely, bro. And when I hear a lot of people talk about that, and regardless of whatever their personal, their personal feelings toward a person is,
Yep.
you cannot be mad at the person for playing by the rules. It,
Exactly. You got exactly like you be mad at the system. Don't be mad at the
exactly.
person. You know.
Exactly. Be mad at the game. Don't be mad at the rules. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, most definitely, bro. So, with that being said, everyone who needs a tax professional, I know out here in Las Vegas, I know I have my preferred tax professionals out here, and I'm pretty sure my boy Coach Cam could definitely hook it up.
Mhm.
Seek professional help, or even if you have questions about certain things, taxes on properties, because man, matter of fact, yeah, bro, since you just bought a house, check out the new taxes. A buddy of mine just last year, he purchased a house probably 12, 13, 11 months ago,
Mhm.
and his taxes went up like over $1,000, bro. Um,
So little plug on that. That's why I married someone who is going to be 100% VA disabled, so we don't got to pay
wow, 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 boom, you know
nothing.
what I mean?
Nah, you are right. I have heard about that though. I've heard
Yeah,
about taxes going up and people feeling
yes.
the blunt of that.
Exactly, so yeah, be aware of that, you know what I mean? And if you have any questions, please consult a tax professional. Most
Mhm.
definitely.
Yep. But all right, y'all. We're 1 minute over. That was a good one.
Oh, it was
Great,
really good.
great conversation.
Yes, yeah, it was, man. Interesting. And once again, this does not play any type of play on Cam or myself's political views.
Yep.
I know personally I don't care because I create my own future, and I know Cam does too.
Oh yeah. So anyways, that Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will be here talking about real estate finances, the market, tax
What's going
changes,
on?
what's going on with you guys. But other than that, have a good rest of your week, y'all, and we will see you later.
Peace.
Peace.